take this conversation further, we're joined now by Dr. Elias Sithole, head of the National Disaster Management Center. Dr. Sithole, good to have you, and thank you very much for coming on this afternoon. As things stand now in your operations, what phase are we in as far as the situation in Mthatha is concerned?
Yes, good afternoon. Good afternoon to the viewers. We're still in the recovery phase, making sure that we actually recover any fatalities, which where they might be for now, be placed. And then once that recovery phase is concluded, then we'd be moving to a different phase where it's more like your mop-up operations as well.
So what resources have been deployed? What resources still need to be deployed, particularly in this phase of recovery?
Look, we've deployed our rescue teams when the incident happens, so that the search and rescue team, they're able to rescue whoever was alive during the time, but also searching all the other fatalities next to the river banks or maybe in the houses. But also once we conclude on that one, the SAPS will continue doing that process in terms of the process which they need to conduct, working with the Department of Health. But also from our side, as disaster management, we'll also make sure that we'll continue providing humanitarian relief to the displaced communities.
Right. And what are the challenges that you are meeting right now? Some of the water, of course, would have subsided, as our reporter was saying just moments ago, which would have made, I suppose, the recovery also a little bit more difficult. But what challenges are you looking at now that are making the operations a challenge?
Look, fortunately, the communities who have been displaced, they've been cooperating with our search and rescue teams. Because normally in this kind of situation, if the water subsides, people, they want to go back into their houses and so on. So they've been cooperating. And then the political leaderships, they have been engaging the displaced communities, indicating to them that they must allow the rescue teams to do their work, but we'll also make sure that where they are being relocated, they're being taken care of. So those are the things, but we have not experienced any other challenges related to housebreaking, because we've seen in other places where the water subsides, people, they tend to go to other people's houses and break in and steal whatever, any valuable item. But at this stage, we have not experienced any of those challenges.
Let's talk about that relocation process to some form, I suppose, of temporary accommodation. Is there enough accommodation that's available, and how is that process being carried out?
Look, we were in the Eastern Cape. We visited mostly all the places where people have been housed. So according to our assessment, the accommodation is sufficient. And the relief which have been provided in those areas or sites, they are sufficient in terms of feeding the displaced and so forth. So I would say for now, yes, definitely they are sufficient at this stage. Because also, maybe just to add, we have also the medical teams from the Department of Health, and they're able to provide those any kind of emergencies which might arise.
And what is the expected period in which you would have those people accommodated in those temporary spaces? Or is there a long-term plan of what actually is going to happen to them after that?
Yeah, you see, the long-term plan, we will need to work with traditional leaders. We need to work with the municipalities, because we have said to the communities, it is not viable for them to go back into their place of residence, because some of the houses are very close to the riverbeds. So, but that's going to be the either the short-term or medium or long-term interventions, because we want to make sure that we've already lost a lot of people, and we want to make sure that moving forward, we don't actually lose any lives moving forward. So we might need to put urgent interventions to make sure that at least we are relocating people to the safer places, but we definitely need to come together as government and then see how best we can assist those people, because some people, they've got bigger houses. It might take a lot of convincing actually to move them out of those areas.
Job, we appreciate your time. Let's leave it there. That's Dr. Elias Sithole, head of the National Disaster Management Center, in the recovery phase of the operations that they are carrying out there in Mthatha.